שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו. כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו. כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו. כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני, שירו לאדוני. בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו. כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני. מה טובו, מה טובו, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו, מה טובו, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך, אשתחווה בך קודשך ויראתך. מה טובו, מה טובו, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו, מה טובו, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל.
Rabbi Mordechai Yosef of Izbeka underscores the lesson of our lives and brings the essence of our coming together this Shabbat morning to light. He taught, in the building of the tabernacle, all Israel was joined in heart. No one felt superior to his fellow. At first, each skilled individual did his own part, and it seemed to everyone as if his own work was extraordinary and unique. Yet afterwards, they each saw how their varying contributions were integrated, how all the boards and the sockets, the loops, the curtains, the gold and the crimson all fit together as if one person had done them all. Then they realized how each of them depended on each other, and they understood that what they had accomplished was not by virtue of their own skill alone, that they were all joined in making the master plan come true. Moreover, the one who had made the holy ark itself was unable to feel superior to the one who had made the courtyard tent pegs. So it is with us this Shabbos morning. Every single one of us who has walked through the doors of our sacred sanctuary has an essential part to play. Every person is important in his or her own right to make our mood just right, but especially our bar mitzvah Dylan, leading us in this tabernacle, this mishkan making. He needs our help. Join us in this blessed project, this building project. Put away all your thoughts of the outside world. Now's a great time to turn your cell phone off, or at least put it on silent, so that you can focus in and joining us in every song and melody, every congregational reading, in silence seeking and meditation, hearing Dylan as he teaches us his Torah truths. Each of us has a part to play in making this Shabbos special, in creating sacred space from which we all benefit when we celebrate Shabbat as one. And so we begin on page 78 in our Sidurim, our prayer books, praising God for the gift of body and soul. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tahorahi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. Turn to page 83 as we set our intentions for this morning, for the week ahead, as we read responsively. As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment, and may my actions be shaped by mitzvot.
Keep me from iniquity, disgrace, and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation or despair.
Distance me from evil people and false friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness.
May my hands reach out in kindness, and I will serve God through acts of righteousness.
Today and every day, may I merit your mercy by living my life with compassion and love.
Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. We turn to page 106 as we rise for Chatzi Kaddish and remain standing through the Shema.
Itkadosh Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amad v'rachirtei ve'amnich malchutei v'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayin chol Beit Yisrael Pa'galoi v'zeman karib v'yimeru.
Amen.
Yehi
Shmei Rabbah
v'tala v'tala Shemeir Kudesha B'richu Le'ilai min kol b'chata v'shata Tush b'chata v'nachemata Damiran ve'olema V'meru Amen.
As we turn to page 108 for the Baruch Hu, it is my pleasure to call upon our bar mitzvah, Dylan Samuel Kane, to lead us in the next portion of our worship service.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We continue on page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvarei choshech oseh shalom uvarei et hakol hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita Ma'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela, or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkeh hulanu mehera le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. We continue on the top of page 113. Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leavening. Having heard Lech Lecha, go forth, God disturbs us towards our destiny by hard events. By freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai, Habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. We continue on page 114. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue together on page 116. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham b'shivtecha debetecha uvletecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tiskeru vasiatem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim leloechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher tzeit yetchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem lelochim Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue on the top of page 121. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame. Stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. We continue with the Amidah on page 124. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitehi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'Mahot, U'Mevi Gular Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaya Kol Torah V'Le'Oshia, Mashiv HaBrurach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, U'Matir Rasurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Givorot, U'Midom Melach, Melech Memid, U'Mechaye, U'Matmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. לקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמימרו, כך כתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. We continue on page 132 with a Yismechu as we praise God for the gift of Shabbat.
Yismechu b'malechutecha, shomrei 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 Shabbat, borei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu b'malechutecha, shomrei 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 Shabbat, borei oneg Shabbat.
Continue in the middle of page 137. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness, restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch atah Adonai, shulotcha l'v'acha b'yirah na'avod. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hands, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracle which we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who affirm you and praise you, your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova veracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova veracha. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, sim, shalom, tova veracha.
Together, grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, through the light of your presence. Truly, through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God, you gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people Israel at all times, at every hour, with your breeze. Praise are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom.
Having prayed for peace in the world, we think of those who face the future not fully whole, those who are in need of healing, of mind, of body, and of spirit. We take a moment and whisper their names out loud. Our prayer for healing, Mishaberach, can be found on page 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the שפרח אמותינו, מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please take a moment now for your own silent meditation.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Seder Kriyat Torah, service for the reading of Torah, page 245. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai our God, your God. As we prepare to open the ark and take out our sacred scrolls, I call upon the generations of Dylan's family to join us in front of the ark, to stand with him in a chain of tradition. I call Dylan to stand with his parents, David and Julie Kane, as well as his grandparents, Ladina and Michael Epstein, and Kimberly and John Kane, and to open our ark. We're gonna open the ark, and I'm also gonna ask everyone to rise in honor of the Torah.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein k'ma'asecha. Malchutcha malchut kol olim, u'me'meshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai melech, Adonai melech le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'mo'item, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Torah tzivalanu Moshe Marashat Kihilat Yaakov. This is the Torah given by God to Moses, the inheritance of the congregation of Israel. Dylan. At Mount Sinai, God gave the gift of Torah to the people of Israel as a gift of love. Moses passed Torah down to Joshua. Joshua passed Torah down to the elders. The elders passed Torah down to the prophets, who cried its message of truth and justice aloud for all to hear. The prophets passed Torah down to the Anshe Knesset Hagadolah, the men of the Great Assembly, and they passed Torah down to the rabbis. The rabbis spent their lives stepping inside the words of this ancient text, finding modern meaning in their own day so that the teachings, the laws, the morals would be relevant and call to the people of their generation too. And it is that tradition that enables you to stand here today with the generations of your family, so proud to be on this bima, passing Torah down to you. And just as Moses gave that gift to the people, to us as a gift of love, the generations of your family stand here overflowing with love and pride as they pass Torah down to you. And so Torah goes, midor lador, from generation to generation. You're good.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teachings is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shanatan, Torah, Torah. Baruch Shanatan, Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael, b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Tzvi, U'nomema Shemo Yachtav, Lecha Adonai Hagdolah, Hagvura, Hatiferet, Ve'hanetzach Ve'ha'od. Ki chov hashamayim u'va'aretz, ki chov hashamayim u'va'aretz, lecha Adonai hamamlaka, ve'mitnosei lechol erosh. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lacha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lacha. Ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatecha nadish, kedushatecha nadish. Shivchecha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush, le'olam le'olam va'ed. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lacha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lacha. Ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatecha nadish, kedushatecha nadish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush, le'olam le'olam va'ed. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, hinei ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hinei ma tov, hinei ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. You may be seated. Wait, the grandparents can stay here because you're all gonna do an aliyah in a sec.
Yeah, they're doing the first one. Dylan, you just get to go there. You want me to sit or give them a seat? I can also. You don't want me to sit there.
This week we begin the cycle of reading Torah again, starting with the story of creation. And this parsha also contains the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and the story of Cain and Abel. Dylan will read the well-known story of Eve and the serpent in the Garden of Eden, reading from Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 13, which you can follow along in your service supplement. And for the honor of the first Aliyah, it's my pleasure to invite his grandparents, Lidina and Michael Epstein, and Kimberly and John Kane.
Baruch Adonai Habarach. Baruch atah Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'harbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
V'hanachash haya aru mikol chayat hasadeh asher asa Adonai Elohim vayomer el haisha af ki amar Elohim lo tochlu mikol et hagan vatomer haisha el hanachash mibri et hagan nochel mibri ha'et asher batoch hagan amar Elohim lo tochlu mimenu velo tig'u bo pen temutun.
Wait.
Of all the wild animals that God Eternal made, the serpent was the most cunning. It said to the woman, "Did God really say you may not eat of any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "Of any tree in the garden we may eat of the fruit." But God said, "Of the fruit of the tree in the middle do not eat, and do not even touch it, or you will die."
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
For the honor of the second Aliyah, it's my pleasure to invite Dylan's aunts and uncles, Ryan and Rachel Epstein, and JW and Laura Ray.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarah. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'harbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai hatena Torah.
Vayomer hanachash el haisha lo mot temutun ki yoreah Elohim ki beyom achochem mimenu v'nivkechu einechem v'heitem k'Elohim yodei tovar v'tere haisha ki tov ha'et ma'achal bechi ta'ava hu le'einayim v'nechmad ha'et lehaskil v'tikach mipurio v'tochel v'titain gan le'isha ma v'yochel. But the serpent said to the woman, "You most certainly will not die. On the contrary, God knows that when you do eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing all things." So when the woman saw how good it was to eat the tree's fruit would be, and how alluring to the eyes it was, and how desirable the insight was that the tree would bring, she took some of its fruit and ate, and then gave some to her man who was with her, so he ate.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayi olam nata b'tuchenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Show off.
For the honor of the third Aliyah, it's an honor to invite Dylan's aunt and uncle, Craig and Joy Epstein, and his godmother and family friend, Rabbi Kelly Levy.
I'm already here. I'm waiting for them. Oh, it's so convenient. It's so convenient. Are you doing it over? Oh, okay. Ready? Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Vati bakachna ene shnehem, vayed u ki eromim hem, vayit peru alet ena, vayasu lahem chagarut, vayishmeu et kol Adonai Elohim, mithalech bagan leruach hayom, vayit chave ha'adam ve'isho mipnei Adonai Elohim, betoch et agan, vayikra Adonai Elohim, El Ha'adam, Vayomer Lo Ayaka, Vayomer Et Kolcha Shemati Bagan, Va'ira Ki Erom Anochi, Va'echave. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and realizing that they were naked, they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves skirts. At the breezy time of day, they heard the sound of God Eternal walking about in the garden. And the man and his woman hid from God Eternal amongst the trees. But God called out unto the man, saying, "Where are you?" He said, "I heard the sound of you in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself."
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Are you gonna hug us? I'm so sorry.
Great job, great job.
So sorry, I forgot. Okay, you're starting this.
The final Aliyah we reserve for our bar mitzvah. Ya'amod Yonah Shmuel ben Sarah Aviva, habachor habar mitzvah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach,
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer mid higid lecha ki erom ata hamin ha'et asher tziviticha lebil tiachol mimenu achalta vayomer ha'adam ha'isha asher natata imadi hi natna li mi ha'et va'ochel vayomer Adonai Elohim va'isha ma zot asit vatomer Haisha Hanachash Hishiani Ba'ochel. Then God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat the fruit from the tree I forbade you to eat? The man said, The woman whom you gave me, she gave me the fruit of the tree, so I ate. God Eternal then said to the woman, What is this you have done? And the woman said, The serpent tricked me into eating it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, b'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
This concludes our reading of Torah on this Shabbat. It's my pleasure to invite up Dylan's uncle, Craig Epstein, to lift our Torah, and his brother Wyatt to dress the Torah. Please rise. You may be seated.
Time for the fun part. My Torah portion, Bereshit, means in the beginning, talks about how God created the earth and everything in it and on it, as well as the story of Adam and Eve and how they were cast out of the Garden of Eden and life after it. The verses I am reading begin with the serpent tricking Eve, convincing her to ignore God and to eat the fruit from the tree of life. Next, Eve gives some to Adam, and upon eating the fruit, they both realize that they are naked. After making makeshift clothes, God comes and finds out that they have disobeyed him. So as punishment, God curses the snake to forever walk on its belly. Eve is told that childbirth will always be painful, and Adam is told that man will forever having to grow food for himself, and the snake and man would always be enemies. Lastly, God cast them all out of the Garden of Eden to fend for themselves. The question I had about my verses was, what is so bad about eating the fruit from the tree of life? Yes, I do understand that life was perfect before the incident, but what is so bad about having awareness that would drive God to cast Adam and Eve out of the garden, along with a rather extreme array of punishments for all people? Rabbi Eli Monk, a German-born French rabbi and scholar, explains that God cast them out because after gaining enlightenment, man was bombarded with questions and answers. Not only did he lose the privilege of a clear mind, but he lost his innocence. I agree with Rabbi Eli Monk, because in a place like the garden, everything they would ever need was right there within arm's reach. In my opinion, this is a lifestyle that would not require much brain power, let alone enlightenment. I think that God was right to send them out into the world rather than to allow them to sit in the garden with the power of knowledge and enlightenment and to do nothing with it. This relates to life today in situations where the term, "this hurts me more than hurts you." For example, this one time, I forgot to bring my homework to class. Texted my parents to bring it, and I brought it to school, but when it happened again a few days later, they didn't get it for me. I ended up with a reduced grade, but I never forgot my homework again. Sometimes the only way we can learn and grow is to have an uncomfortable experience. Becoming a bar mitzvah is important to me because it is the first step into independence and adulthood, as well as a sign for great things to come, like new friends and opportunities, higher education, and a sense of responsibility, but above all, an opening to the next exciting chapter of my life. I would like to thank all of my Hebrew teachers, especially Hagit, who got me ready for all of this, to Rabbi Jurgen, Rabbi Nathan, Miss Leah, and Cantor Berlin for guiding me on my path today. Finally, I'd like to thank my family and my friends, but above all, my parents, who helped me through thick and thin, through the great and not so great moments of my life. So I just wanted to say, with all the love in my heart, thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Our tradition teaches that the world stands on three pillars: Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasadim, study, worship, or spiritual seeking, and acts of loving kindness. So Dylan has fulfilled two of those pillars already this morning. He has led us beautifully in worship and just not only read Torah beautifully, but taught us some beautiful Torah as well. And so now he fulfills that third pillar of acts of loving kindness by sharing a prophetic text that speaks to him and relating it to his life. At Temple Beth-El, we don't share a traditional Haftarah. Instead, in addition to our students chanting our Haftarah blessings, we ask them to pick a text, actually a text that is found in our building, many of them on our stained glass windows, teachings that speak to the core values of our congregation. And that way, Dylan gets to share his prophetic perspective with us all.
Chata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo U'Yisrael amo, u'v'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. For my prophetic text, I chose Leviticus 25:10. Proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof, which is on the stained glass right there. The text says to proclaim liberty, and for me, this means to give freedom, which is what we should be doing today, especially now with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So for me, it means to give freedom for people to do what they want to their own bodies. For my mitzvah project, I have chosen to educate and raise awareness about the current situation with Roe v. Wade and the fact that women across America are getting their right of choice taken away. This confused me, considering that God gave Adam and Eve the right to do what they want with their own bodies. And this is now being taken away? Why? How is this okay? This confused me, so I went to my mom, and we discussed what Roe v. Wade was and how the Supreme Court could do such a thing in today's world. Talking to her and learning more through reading motivated me to focus my mitzvah project on women's right, education, and doing what I can for social justice. Getting to my actual project, I know that this subject is taboo, but why is that? Why are abortions and other topics like this so touchy and awkward to talk about? That is my quest, to find out why this is weird and how I can fix this while helping those who have made that decision at the same time. So I will be, with my family, making works of art postcards and giving them to women who've had to make the choice to get an abortion to tell them they are loved, and they are not alone, and they have people who support them. As for my second project, me and some other people will be helping a different part of Planned Parenthood. We put together feminine packs for women in shelters, refugees, and others who may not have access for them otherwise. I wanted to educate myself and others about the many ways Planned Parenthood helps people and the great work they do. I did this also to normalize these items, especially for people with my age. Why? Well, why not? Why do people feel uncomfortable when talking about feminine hygiene? I want to change the way people think about this and help normalize these things, and this is my way to start. My work with Planned Parenthood connects to my prophetic text because God said to proclaim liberty, as I said earlier, and to me this means to give freedom, the freedom to do what you want to your own body. But right now, women are being told they don't have that liberty. Liberty is choice, and for everyone, liberty is healthcare. Thousands of scared women and men don't know what they're going to do next, and Planned Parenthood helps those people by trying to give back their freedom and liberty. It doesn't have to be with abortions either. Planned Parenthood can help with financial support, education, and many other services. It's so that all people have the freedom to choose what they want to do with their own bodies and have the life they choose to have. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yotzeh ha'medaber u'mkayem shekol devarav emet b'tzedek al ha'torah v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'neviim v'ayom ha'shabbat hazeh Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Yikdusha v'limnucha Lechavod u'tifaret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu modim lach Umbarachim otach Yitbarach shimcha Befi kol chai Tamid leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
I can't look at you, otherwise I cry. I'm gonna look at the paper. Hey Dylan, guess what?
What?
You did it. You're done. All your hard work and time has led us here. You led the congregation so beautifully, and we are so proud of you. In Judaism, it is tradition to pass down names of loved ones we wish to remember and honor. Your middle name, Samuel, is in honor of your great-grandfather, my grandfather, Samuel, or Sam. Unfortunately, I never really had the chance to get to know him, as he passed away when I was a baby. But growing up, my parents would tell me a lot of stories about him, about how he was a kind man with a very giving heart, and he never knew a stranger. He always tried to do the right thing, even if it wasn't the popular thing. Dylan, your middle name couldn't have been more fitting just by those words alone. You definitely have never met a stranger. And much to my chagrin sometimes, but I remember saying to people that you could make friends with a brick wall if you wanted to. You are one of the kindest souls I've ever known. Your ability to empathize with others and show unconditional love shows such maturity and wisdom. Your great-grandfather, Sam, owned a grocery store in a small Texas town. Did you know that? No. One of the stories I remember is how he always kept a bag of groceries set aside for anyone who couldn't afford them, no questions asked. Keep in mind, this was during a time when there was a lot of uncertainty and times were tough for most people. It definitely wasn't the popular thing, but it was the right thing. Like you and your choice to work with Planned Parenthood for your mitzvah project. It definitely was a bold choice. But coming from you, I'm not surprised. It's who you are. I remember emailing the rabbis, asking them their thoughts, and with an astounding and enthusiastic yes, your face lit up and you went in full speed. You stuck to your decision because you felt it was the right thing, even if it wasn't the popular thing. You took so much pride in working with them on putting together over 500 feminine packs and helping them prep for their annual luncheon. I remember the first time arriving at Planned Parenthood, when we met up with our main point of contact, the first thing she said, you remember? Is you're Dylan, you're famous. You certainly left an impression on them, just like you pretty much do with everyone you meet.
I wish your great-grandfather could have met you. I think you two would be like two peas in a pod. But I know you're most certainly living up to your middle name and the honor of carrying that name on. I'm so proud of the young man you are and the man you are becoming, even though you're growing up way too fast. I wanted to share one more thing and then I'll be done, I promise. My blessing to you, I alone couldn't do it justice. So I borrowed some words of wisdom, well, song lyrics really, written by someone who shares your name, Bob Dylan. He probably says it better than I could have ever have. May God bless you and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung, and may you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. Love you, kiddo.
Good job. Dylan, you have been a bright light in your mother and my life for the past 13 years. It has truly been a pleasure watching you grow into the young man standing before us today. I am proud of your commitment to the Jewish faith and the passion you showed leading the service today. I applaud your dedication and hard work you have put into getting into this day. Dylan, you constantly impress me with your empathy and compassion that you have and you use to guide you. Even from an early age, you have always cared for the welfare of others. I remember attending a circus once when you were 3. A circus performer tripped and fell. The audience gasped as we tried to figure out if it was part of the act or if they had actually hurt themselves. You were genuinely worried for their welfare, so you stood up and boldly asked, "Are you okay?" The audience had a little chuckle and the performer quickly returned to his act. Many saw it and were probably even thinking it. You spoke up and made sure. Fast forward to when you were 10. I was driving you to a Hebrew lesson at the JCC when we saw a homeless person with a sign at a red light. You turned to me and said, "Dad, this guy's hungry. Can we give him some money?" And I told you that I didn't have any cash to give that day. And you responded, "Okay, well, can I give him my snack?" And I agreed, and you handed off your favorite snack so that a stranger could have something to eat. And then earlier this year, when your mom told me what you had picked for your mitzvah project, I knew that it was perfect for you. Not only did you want to educate, but you wanted to help however you could. In so doing, you've also inspired others. Just the other day, Wyatt asked when we were going to be going back to help again. Not only are you carrying on a tradition of giving back, but you're also setting an example for those to follow. I have no doubt you will continue to lead by example and accomplish amazing things. I love you.
We make ready to return towards the ark as we turn to page 256. Please rise. You're doing great. It's good. You're awesome.
It's time
You may be seated, except for you, Dylan. Come on over here. Not everyone is lucky enough to have a godmother who happens to be a rabbi. So Rabbi Kelly Levy is going to share some words of blessing with you, and I'll say something a little at the end.
Oh, there you go. You are lucky, Dylan. I'm just kidding. You are lucky, though, for so many reasons. You are lucky to have the brilliant and wonderful parents that you have. We have been through so many moments together, so many special moments, including on this very bima. I was here when your mom became bat mitzvah. I was here when your parents got married. Then I just got to be a civilian. That was really fun. I got to be here to officiate your naming. And now we get to be here as you become bar mitzvah. I can't say anything more than what your parents have said about your character and about who you are, because they said it all in the most beautiful way. I will say that for years, I have been asking for permission from your mom to share some of the brilliant pearls of wisdom that you have come up with since the time that you could talk. Because once you could talk, you never stopped. But what's amazing is that you, as your dad said, use your voice to stand up for others. You have always been an inspiration to others. You have always inspired me. I have quite literally taken things that you have said in conversations with your mom in the car and wrote them on social media for others to see. I know. She gave me permission. But every time you have said something because you're thinking deeply about the world around you, and because you're thinking consciously about the impact that you have on the world and how you can help others, it has been ingrained in who you are from the time that you were born. You have always been, as your parents said, a light. You have been a source of humor, of weird commentary, of excellent questions, of curiosity, of discovery, of pure joy. It has been a blessing to all of us to watch you. It has been a blessing to be a part of your life, and I know that I can speak for everyone when I say it is an honor to be with you today. So thank you for sharing so much of yourself with us. Thank you for the incredible project that you took on, because I know that not many people your age and necessarily your gender would want to do something like that. But that's who you are, and you are unapologetically yourself. And we are blessed to be inspired by you always. So thank you for allowing me the space and the opportunity to be here with you today to celebrate you and to be a part of this amazing and wonderful occasion. Mazal Tov.
So the only thing I want to add, because there's not much left there's always more to say, especially as a rabbi, right? But your Torah portion, you picked the perfect part, right? Because you stand for justice, because you are so inquisitive, you wanted to know why it would be a bad thing to have that intellect, that awareness of the world, right? It's almost like God planned it from the beginning so that Adam and Eve could go out into the world to repair it, to do the things they needed to do. And it's because of people like you that we know that was a good decision, right? So just like your mom and your dad and Kelly talked about that goodness and that spark of light, which many rabbis would say is that intellect, is that ability that we have in all of us to make those moral and just and right decisions. We get to see you continue to grow and spread that light around your community, and I bet around the world as you get a little older as well. It's great stuff. We're so proud of you and everything you've done, your sweetness, your kindness, it emanates for everyone to see. So at this moment, we're going to invite you to come in front of the ark with your mom and your dad. with Kelly, with Rabbi Jurgen, well, Rabbi Kelly Levy, AKA Kelly for you, Cantor Berlin, Rabbi Jurgen for the priestly benediction. Everyone please rise.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May God deal kindly with you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's radiant presence shine upon you, Dylan. Grant you life's choicest blessings of health, wholeness, happiness, lots of family love, and peace. Amen.
You may be seated, except for Dylan. I'm not even wearing heels. All right. So, we asked you before, or we said to you before, this would be the fastest bar mitzvah you've ever been to. It really was, right? That's what I thought.
I didn't believe it at first, like, once I'm here. Like, oh my goodness.
He said he didn't believe us at first, but now, oh my goodness, that's a direct quote, right? So yes, right, we go fast because you're helping lead the congregation. And when you're at school later this week and you're like, did that really happen? Like, it's time for my lesson with Hagit. Oh, wait, no, don't have it. Because you completed your becoming a bar mitzvah and you led us beautifully. So we give you this certificate to help you remember that you did complete. We also, from North American Federation of Temple Youth, give you a gift certificate to help get you on a trip to Israel. And when you complete confirmation, Temple will match that to help you do that. Especially, maybe going with green, right? Yeah, aha, there we go. From Yachad, our religious school parents group, we give you the tzedakah box, and we've talked about your love of justice and how you're going to help the world. So I know that you will put that to wonderful, wonderful use. We also, from Brotherhood, we give you this Kiddush cup and candlesticks so that you can continue your Jewish journey years later when you are not at home, right? She already said you're growing up too fast. So years later that you can continue having Shabbat wherever you end up and continue these traditions with your future family. From Sisterhood, we give you this Tanakh, which has your name on it, so that you can keep it forever and learn from it forever. And so we have all of these gifts, but I want to say that one gift that you have given me that I feel hasn't been mentioned yet is your laugh. Your laugh is infectious, your giggle is even better. And so I just wanted to say thank you for always giving me high fives and smiling in the hall with me and making my life shine bright. We continue with Aleinu, page 283, and I invite you all to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני Baruch hu, v'nei
You may be seated. Our memorial meditation can be found on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, we remember them. Magdalena Migdala Acevo de Placeras, Arthur Aftergut, Robert Banks, Hyman William Brisman, Nell G. Coyne, Lawrence Dickinson, Blanche Edwards, Doris Ferguson, Frank Friedman, Al Fries, Belle D. Frost, Alejandro Gagliardi, Leonora Garfinkel, Alfred Gez, James Glennon, Alvin Walter Goldman, Joan Friedson Greenblatt, Max Grossman, Dr. Neil Gerwitz, Ernest L. Howe, Thomas Raymond Herman, Norma Lee Huffaker, Emery Eisenberg, Seymour Joss, Ruth Callum, Dr. S.S. Coulter, Yvette Coulter, Ethel Kellum, Daniel Careth, Diana Kaiser, Frida Klein, David Klingman, Linda Coplin, Lorraine Kropf, Louis Lerner, Jenny Lipman, Robert Lipset, Francis Mann, David Menger, Fred Miller, Elise Olton, Alan G. Oppenheimer, Cecilia S. Osason, Marjorie Schuster Block Owens, Ida Palins, Alice Panitz, Celia Phillips, Jorge Placeras Acevo, Agnes Rappaport, Sandy Reed, Emma Rice, Hilda Ricklin, Dr. Walter Rawson, Robert Rubenstein, Isidore M. Schnee, Muriel Schoenfeld, Bernard W. Shanefield, Blanche Shyness, Mildred Simon, Maurice Singer, Muriel Stone, Gertrude Hanover Tivers, Juanita Teuber, Gregoria Umansky, Esther Weinstein, Sam Weinstein, and Raymond Zimmerman. To these names, we add the names of those who've been buried in the past 30 days, whose families and friends are in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Robert Gerwitz, Dahlia Temple Pagan, Irving Poncho Greenblum, Adele Rosso, and Jocelyn Levy Strauss. We also think of those who died and been buried this past week, whose family are in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember Sheldon Arnold Altman, father of Jeffrey Altman and Pamela Lannis Cotter, and grandfather of Gavin and Kaylee. We remember Leonard J. Schwartz, brother-in-law of Temple Beth-El member Mel and Marlene Eichelbaum, husband of Sandy E. Schwartz, father of Michelle and Jesse, grandfather of Elliot and Mira, and uncle of Rob and Jennifer Eichelbaum and Mark and Jen Eichelbaum. We also remember Kathleen Ann Gibson, mother of Temple Beth-El member Charlie and Jake Gibson, wife of Charles Gibson Sr., mother of Jonathan and Marcy, and James and Rachel, and sister of Barbara. At this sacred hour, Dylan's family particularly remembers Ruth Ranke, Sam Ranke, William Kane, Geraldine Dolan, George Dolan, Bonnie Horn, James Horn, Richard Dolan, and Gerald Geiger. To all of these names, we add those which are in our hearts each and every day as we turn together to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom, rising together as one community. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach v'rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'yizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yatadar, v'yatalev, v'yatalal, shemei dekudasha b'richu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen.
Amen. Our closing song is Ein Keloheinu on page 322. I would like to call up Wyatt as well as cousin Thomas to do Kiddush and Motzi and to stand with them in solidarity. Craig Epstein, Joy Epstein, Emily Epstein, Ethan Epstein, Everett, I got Everett and Ryan, Rachel Epstein, Thomas Epstein, Charles Epstein, J.W. Ray, Laura Ray, Jackson Ray, Kimber Ray, and anyone else who would like to come on the beam. Just kidding. Only if your name was called. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
I know, I saw that. I love that you were sitting with Hagmeet. Congratulations, dude. You rocked it.